for example in professional colleges, only 67 get filled up. Out of that, only 34 students pass out. And again, the placement rates are pretty bad also. Only 40% of the students in professional colleges get placed. We are not even talking about general colleges, where the placement rate is even bad. Now, the profession, you are situated in Hyderabad, which is one of the biggest economic hubs, especially around professional courses. You talk about technology, you talk about management, you talk about banking, you talk about hospitality. Any of these areas you have a huge thing coming in, but it doesn't work. The budget constraints exist here as well, and there is a huge vacancy in terms of the higher education institutions. The co-panelists will talk about the VC recruitments. In the last 10 years in Telangana, we talk about the top 4 government universities. There were 4 years when you did not have a full-time vice chancellor. So 40% of the time you did not have a full-time vice chancellor. Even now, I believe all the 11 government universities are working with acting vice chancellors. And these are people who, while they are great people in their own mind, they probably have other things to keep them busy as well. They're not academicians, they're bureaucrats, they have other responsibilities, and therefore the universities do not get the attention in terms of leadership that they need to think of. There are very limited efforts to get out of state students, whereas Hyderabad as an industry hub, you get excellent people for jobs, but you're not getting good people in terms of industries. And the surprising piece here is, if you again look at Hyderabad, 2 of the best public-private partnerships in higher education come from Telangana. So ISP probably was one of the first things. I know Dr. Jagadesh might not agree because they are outside the regulatory ambit, but they are one of the best. They are today in the top 100 MBA rankings globally. It's a public-private partnership. The government only provided land and the intent. You look at IIIT Hyderabad, again, one of the fastest growing ranked institutions in the country. It's a great example of public-private partnership. All of them were done 20 years back. Today you have a lot more industry in Hyderabad. You have a lot more industry who's willing to partner with universities and academia. What is stopping you from doing these things? Right. Today, almost 1 in 8 students who are going out of India for further studies is from Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. You have great brains moving out of the country. With the change in the entire visa processes across a lot of post-study work visas in a lot of countries, there have been studies which say in the last 1 year, the inquiries for going abroad has gone down by 40%. Can the universities here do something to attract those best talents to retain, stay in India, do better work? Right? This was a number that we were speaking about, of approximately 220,000 odd professional seats, only 67% have done. If you look at the NIRF rankings or the NAC status, from a NIRF, Telangana is punching really below its weight. Almost 95% of the students in Telangana and almost 90% across the country are studying in state universities. And states is where the entire action is. Unfortunately, if you look at the rankings, there's only 1 university in the NRF top 100 in the country. So we're not even being able to compete against the Indian universities, leave out the global ones. Similarly, there have been no colleges from the state of Telangana who are in the top 100. In terms of NAC accreditation, which is standardization, it's only around 50% of the universities and only around 15% of the colleges have done NAC. So there's a lot of work, while access and equity is solved for, a lot of work needs to be done around the quality and the outcomes. So what do we recommend? Basically, PwC works with a lot of states, a lot of universities. What should be done? I think there are 3 tiers to it. The first tier is around institutes. All changes begin at the university level. Dr. Jagadesh Kumar mentioned about it as well. Most of the universities today have a research cell, a consulting cell, potentially as a tick in the box. You haven't really gone out to the industry around you to understand what is it that they need in terms of a student who's graduating out of university, in terms of the research that they want, the problems that they want to solve, or in terms of capability building. Today, for every industry, so much of industry being in Hyderabad, the only institute in Hyderabad which does any sensible sort of executive education is ISP.